You got me a water.
No, this is my water.
No.
So you've missed the boat.
No.
Once we start,
I can't get up now, though.
you can't. You're sandwiched between Benjamin and myself, and you must ask permission before you can have a sip of water. But this is mine, and I also don't like that it's cold. I don't know who you are, and in 12 years putting water in the refrigerator, now I'm forced to have crisp, cold water instead of room temperature that goes down without the tightening of the throat.
You see, after that whole explanation, I was shocked to see you choose the cold water because I do keep some room temperature as well. Maybe there weren't any left, but ever since we've moved to Florida, I feel like an ice cold Zephyr Hills water. It's just like the perfect button to my day. Hey, Benjamin, say hi, guys. Say hi. So we've been busy this year. It's the last week almost of January.
Yeah. I think January is identical. If you had to pinpoint one month that has felt like the last 3 years, it's this January. There's days that I feel like it flew by. There's other days that I feel like it didn't. And that's how the year is. But we've only got a week left.
We have 1 week left. You know, normally people say January is the longest, which I usually feel that. But I got to tell you, I can't believe it's at the end of January already. Maybe because there's been so much going on.
Yeah.
But February will go quick. We'll be in summer before you know it. Then it'll be Halloween. Then it'll be Christmas. Then it'll be 2024.
No, we're slowing down time. We want to enjoy each and every day.
Oh, that's right.
and really make the best of it, because within the day, that is where progress and happiness is created.
Ooh.
In the moment, in the day. Have some goals, but make the most out of your day. Now, the only thing I'm trying to rush, the only reason, is my dry January. Okay?
Ooh.
I am getting to the point, especially after putting in so much work in the month of January and still have a lot of work left in January. I can already see the sweat on a draft beer that is crisp. And I want to find a restaurant to go to where they actually keep the glasses in the freezer.
So they come out, they're cool,
frosty.
mugs.
So we're going to find one of those. But that just makes the experience fun. I feel like I'm in high school again, where I'm going to have my first beer. So I'm pumped. I got like 6-7 days left. You, however, are not on dry January.
Well, I was doing dry January, and then I had family and friends in town, and we were at Disney, and I was like, we're at Hollywood Studios. You have to have a beer. So I'd say in January, I probably drank on 3 different days. Not much, but there were a lot of events going on, and I could have said no, but I didn't. So I just did balance this January.
People are calling it, so I guess dry is none. What's the word that they've been using?
I'm having a damp January.
Damp. That's what it is. Like cloudy or damp. Damp is what they call it.
Love that. Yeah.
Damp is where you drink a couple times.
A little bit.
But yeah, it just sets the tone for the year. And
we've been working out a lot too. I would say diet's been pretty on par, and just feeling really good. I feel when you make the right moves in life and are doing the right thing, it comes back tenfold. You really do feel it. And one thing I will say I've really been trying to work on this year as well is just, and you kind of said it, is just living in the moment. Like this very moment right here is all we have. We don't know what's promised. We don't know what's happening tonight, tomorrow, the next day. And I really try and focus on who I'm with, what I'm doing. If I'm running, I really just focus on that moment and enjoying that I'm outside. I'm listening to good music, the sunshine, just the earth. Like, it sounds crazy, but I really mean that when I'm spending time with Benji. I really just, like, I purposely go, put the phone away, like, enjoy your dog, enjoy your husband, enjoy your nieces, your mom, your dad, like, whoever it is. I just really am trying to be so intentional about this very moment. Like, we're sitting here able to have a conversation with our closest friends. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. It's just something I'm really finding a lot of happiness doing. And that's all you can do at the end of the day. We all have one life, one moment. This is the moment we have. So when you're watching this, enjoy.
This is what you're doing. You might be eating.
Maybe you're eating. Maybe you're having a snack.
Yeah.
What kind of snack would you be having while watching the Freddie and Alyssa show?
Blueberries with a tablespoon of peanut butter.
Sounds unique.
I used to do the pistachios, remember, 2 years ago? But it's just, pistachios are also like $16 a bag, and it just is like, And peanut butter, it's just as good because you kind of you put one scoop on the side of the bowl, and then you use the peanut butter and you can dab the blueberries. Ooh. And frozen blueberries, by the way.
You do love the frozen.
And it sticks to the peanut butter. So you get like a little peanut butter on the spoon with like 3 blueberries, and it has the same taste basically. A little different with pistachios.
A little different.
But that's the snack of the year so far.
You're having that. I've really been enjoying banana and peanut butter.
Yeah,
it's
classic.
It's so classic. It's so good. We've really been enjoying our tea at night. We'll go and like buy different types of teas. And I'm like, which one do you want tonight?
Yeah,
it's a nice
mixing it up.
Yeah.
You know you got me thinking about this peanut butter thing with bananas. It's funny that a banana and peanut butter go together like so well, but a banana and peanut butter go incredibly well blended with a protein shake. That's like a staple. However, apple and peanut butter, another amazing combination. Yeah. However, you don't really blend apple and peanut butter.
You don't think in a protein shake?
Not as much. I feel people do the banana, but maybe because the banana is more convenient, you just break it in half, put it in, where the apple, you're like, got to make sure you don't get seeds. Maybe it's the efficiency.
Did you ever have ants on a log? Do you know what that is?
I feel like I'm trying to picture what that could possibly be.
Think about it when you're a kid.
Ants on a log. Is that like
I think that's what's called.
Chocolate-covered banana with sprinkles or something?
No, so we're talking a nice crisp piece of celery, peanut butter on the inner ridge of it.
Yeah.
And then you put raisins on top.
Oh, God. A million guesses I wouldn't have got that.
Really?
No.
I used to eat raisins a lot as a kid.
Celery and peanut butter?
Oh, it's so good. I actually kind of want to go have that now. It's a really good mixture. I don't think I'd put that in a protein shake, but yeah, as a kid, they're trying to get creative for you to eat, the goods, the veggies.
Yeah.
I like that too. But no, I think banana and peanut butter is the go-to for...
It's filling.
It's delicious. I will say, when I was in high school, my first job was at Jamba Juice. And I didn't work there that long, but I did work there, and I remember falling in love with something called peanut butter mood. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had that?
Yeah, I think it's the most calorie-driven one.
But it's so good. And I used to get it like on my days when I just was like, I just really need something delicious. And I learned to love wheatgrass there. When you started working, the new workers would have to not that they'd haze you, but they're like, you have to have a wheatgrass shot. And people thought it was so gross. And I remember I go, this is delicious. So ever since then, I'm like, give me the wheatgrass shot. I love it, baby. Give me all the greens.
Jamba Juice was, you know what it reminded me of when you said that is Quiznos. Whatever happened to Quiznos?
I think that all closed down.
They did. There was some sort of issue. I don't know if it was like management of finances or if there was something that went down there was some sort of issue that no one liked it or that the marketing there was some internal issue that I think tanked. But that was a superior. I don't know how we're on food today. It shows when
hungry.
You're on a diet, you think about this stuff and you dream about it. But I've actually just been counting calories, so most of the time I'm eating healthy.
Still eat what you want.
But I'll grab for dinner, as long as it's around 800 to 1,000 calories, I can eat whatever. So I could get like a double quarter pounder. I was looking that up the other day. 740 calories. So, but anyway.
Can we flip back really quick to Quiznos?
Yes, I was going to get into the subs.
Were.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the subs, there was one we used to go to. It was in Studio City on the cusp of Burbank.
They turned it into a cycling sweat class.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, we used to always go there, but my favorite one, I think it was like turkey with ranch.
Bacon ranch.
Oh.
The turkey bacon ranch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So good.
I remember Lance Bass was behind me in line once there.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember seeing Shia LaBeouf at Lemonade. He was like 2 people in front of me. He's wilding out.
That's one thing you take for granted when you live in LA. You always saw celebrities.
Everywhere.
And now, yeah, in Florida, there's no celebrity. Well, there's probably some, like more athletes.
Sure.
Well, because Hollywood's not here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's the... But yeah, anyway, the sub... I'm actually like bummed that Quiznos went away. Because Subway's decent. Sometimes you can get a good one. I used to be so in for Publix subs when I would visit here. But now that I live here and I've had them a bunch, I do not like them anymore. I like the taste, but the after effect of them, you just feel like so much more bloated. than you would from a Subway, or even a Jersey Mike's is pretty decent.
Do you know I went to Subway the other day in Champions Gate and
Yeah.
it was closed down. Just a few days ago it was open. I guess people aren't working anymore.
That's why you have to, let's circle this back. That's why you have to live in the present. Because Subway location disappeared. There's news that like 150 Macy's are closing. And
Blockbusters only has one left.
Well, that's been gone.
I know.
But there's like even newer stuff. We were at the Tampa Mall the other day. Not a single person in the mall. It's just like the world's changing so fast that we can't look in the future anymore, because back in maybe like the 70s, you're like, oh, I'm going to go do this because in 2015 I'll retire and life will be like, we can't even imagine what 2050 will look like, let alone 2035. So we can't even look that far into the future. We have to just make 1 to 2 year goals, have an idea, and then execute on the daily to just make sure we're moving with the tides and keeping up.
I like that. Well, since this has kind of been a theme of living in the now and appreciating the now, I have a crazy story to tell you that I haven't told you yet.
Okay.
So I'm getting my nails done the other day. I love my nail girl. She always crushes it. And she had told me that last year around May, there was this singer she wanted to go see with her husband. And she's like, okay, so I don't know their names because they're Spanish singers, but they have millions of followers.
Okay.
So the male singer, it was the first one to become famous. Then he started dating this female singer, and they got engaged. They're now married, and now they had a song come out together. So they're both like massively famous. And she decided she wanted to go to their concert, and she told her husband, honey, we got to go. Like, I know it's a lot of money, but I just feel like in my gut, like this is something that we need to go do, you know, just like taking advantage of the moment and going and doing it. So she went. There was a moment where this husband and wife singing duo comes out on stage together. She films it on her phone and she tags them. It goes viral on TikTok, goes viral on Instagram, like millions of views. And the female singer ended up commenting on both of the different videos on Instagram and TikTok. So she's like, this is cool. Because her whole goal, she goes, I want to do her nails. I think it'd be so cool.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So she ends up posting that. Nothing goes on for a few months. Then down the line, something happened and she ended up doing a nail video, and she used one of the female singer songs and she tagged her in it. And she goes, after that, I noticed she started looking at my stories, looking at my work and stuff. And so a few days later, it was right before Thanksgiving, and I guess the singer's nail broke. She needed it fixed. And before this nail girl that I go to now, this woman went to someone in another country. So she didn't have a nail person here. She'd fly out every month to get it done. Now she lives in Orlando. I'll get
the singer?
The singer.
Huh.
So this is what's crazy. She ended up looking at her work. She had just moved here, and because that's where her husband lives now. They just got married, and she reached out to my nail girl, and she goes, hey, I love your work. I have a broken nail. I need it fixed before Thanksgiving. Can I come see you? So she came, she saw her, she's in love with her work. She goes now, like, she's like her go-to.
Huh.
And it's just so funny to show that because she took a chance, she knew in her gut, she's like, I gotta go to this concert. This was last May. This all unraveled in November.
Yeah.
And she just continued to be consistent because of amazing tool called social media. She had access, and it just was the right fit. And she was telling me, she's like, I like to think that it was a sign from God that her nail broke, because if it didn't break before Thanksgiving, like, no girl wants to go through the holidays if you get your nails done and having a broken nail. It's just a pain in the butt. So it just all worked out, and now she got that opportunity, and she's crushing it. And it's really cool because the singer will repost all of her stuff. It's getting her exposure, and it's just like, I love my nail tech D. She's amazing.
Well,
she deserves it.
And that's the whole, that's the reason for all the posting, is opportunities like that. It's big opportunities that can be life-changing.
Yep.
You know, because it also gives you social proof when you're doing someone like that. Like, she has access to any nail person in the world, especially in Florida, and chose her. Yep. And that just goes a long way.
I know.
That's cool.
I thought that was an awesome story, and I was like, God loves social media. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, yeah. It's taken a good shift. I think that we went through a lot of like negativity and growing pains in social, and there's still a lot of negativity out there, but not as much. I think people are bored with it.
Calming down a little bit.
I think even the haters and the bullies, I think just have probably gotten exhausted. I think even them, they're like, I'm not getting the same high out of being mean to people anymore. Like, I think people are over it. And then also creators now, because everyone's on social, are also just over it. Mm-hmm. Like, I think the biggest, because at first, when it's a new platform, and especially coming from like television, and you're posting, it's the first time in your life that 10,000 people or 100,000 or a million people are gonna like judge you on something that's never happened in human history ever, unless you were famous.
Right.
But even then, all you would do is look at reviews of your movie, and it would be good or bad, but you wouldn't actually be able to siphon through 10,000 negative comments of your movie. So this was the first time that humans were susceptible to just a lot of hate. And so I think it threw people off back in 2015, 2016, and haters were finally waiting, and now they have a chance to be all mean and be the bully. And now in 2023, it's like creators are just like, first of all, we all know who you are as a bully now.
Right.
That is like, oh, you're just in that group. And it's like, we just wish you well. But we also know that you don't even know us. So it can't be personal because you don't really know who I am and you don't know the context.
But still, I think anyone saying anything mean to someone, even if they go, hey, I know this person doesn't know me, it still sucks.
Well, the only thing that
depends what they're saying.
It doesn't hurt with what they're saying. It's the audacity that they're saying it with protection. They're saying it without a profile picture is even more frustrating. With a profile picture, I go, at least you have the balls, but you're still not face to face with me.
Come up to me on the street and say it to my face.
Yeah, other than when I was in high school, like since I've been an adult, people don't come up to you face to face and say something mean to you because there's that potential threat of violence. Mm-hmm. So people are like, you know, they might say it in the car or flick you off or something. And it's like, because again, you feel protected because you're in your car.
Right.
But only on social. And there's no way, what is his name? This great comedian, Hassan, was talking about the hate comments that bothered him and this is how I grew up in basketball, is that we used to talk shit to each other all the time when it came to playing basketball. And you could solve it instantly. And there was a respect thing where you would go play one-on-one or you play 5-on-5. And if you won, it's like you shut that person up and it was solved in 15 minutes. And you usually shook hands afterwards because you had respect. You're like, hey, I talk shit, but you beat me. Or we would lose and you would go, all right, respect. Or I would go by myself to basketball courts back in the day when they were packed. And it would be so hard for you to get on the court. So you'd have to really like schmooze with people and they'd have to like give me a chance because most of the time like I was overlooked, you know?
Sure.
But as soon as I got to play, then I ended up stealing the show and everyone's like, oh crap, we didn't know you could ball. And it's like, yeah, I can. And it was that instant gratification of like, you were talking shit, you didn't want me, now I became the person, you know, blah, blah, blah. With social media, you're calling me out, you're talking shit, and we can't battle it out. Even if you're at a bar and someone's talking shit, it's like, let's step outside and let's see who's going to win the fight. It's like, it can be solved. On social, it's just petty back and forth, and that's what bothers me.
Well, and you have to accept that and know that that's what it is. But if someone's dealing with, like, negativity or just, like, hateful comments, mean comments in general in real life, how would you handle that? Like,
depends on the person. If it's anybody that is not in my life, I could care less.
Yeah.
Like, even if someone were to say something to me, like, I wouldn't even respond. Like, if someone was walking and was like, F you, like, I wouldn't even say anything back.
Yeah.
I would just keep walking because I would never want you in my life. I don't care for a confrontation to happen. I've seen enough TikTok videos of the most innocent little pushes and shoves and someone trips and hits their head and then you're in prison for 10 years. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I would just ignore it. Anybody in a social circle, if you're even remotely sketchy for 1 second, you're out. Mm-hmm. And then if in your core group, I don't have anyone who's negative because I don't allow it. But I'm also 34 years old.
That's true too.
And I've been around a ton of people in my life.
We've learned.
And I've learned. I unfortunately don't give second chances because I just don't have the time. I'm looking for new friends. I'm looking to maintain and water and grow the relationships I do have of people who've never effed me over, who've never done anything remotely sketchy, who've just been perfect. So I water them and I find new people to grow. But anyone else who's remotely sketchy, I literally, Tupac saying, you're cut off.
I want you to eat, just
not at my table. I have no beef with anyone I've ever cut off. I don't wish you an ounce of anything bad. I truly wish you, like, because you were part of my life at some point. And I loved you for whatever it was. I wish you the best. I want you to eat, just not at my table. You are literally not welcome at my table, but I want you to have your own table, and I want you to do so well, and I just want everything to work out. Yeah. And that's the attitude I bring to all the time now.
Yeah, I think in 2023, it's just an interesting time because so much is accessible to us that if there is anyone or anything that is affecting our energy, because I feel we have to protect our energy, like these days, that the second you get any sort of negative vibes or feelings or someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them, that whole thing, you have to do it because so many people can reach you these days. My mom was telling me the story from years ago, and this is what's crazy. There's a whole story to it, but there was a cop who came to her house, and she like knew who he was, and he, I think, like kind of had a crush on her, so he's always like kind of showing up. And there was one day that he came and knocked, and she's like, oh, like I don't really like want to see him right now, you know, and he ended up going behind the house. This is like in the 80s. Yeah. The back door was still open, and he came in, and he's like, hey, Valerie, you here? I just want to da-da-da-da. Like, had in the 80s. He wasn't there on business or anything.
You said he was a cop?
Yeah, but he was like her friend. It was just like all very interesting. But I'm just saying, when she told me that story, I'm like, these days when someone knocks on my door, the other day Freddie wasn't home, and I heard dun, 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 that knock, and I instantly looked at the Ring camera. I go, who's here? And it was this guy who I'm assuming was selling something, but he walked and waited on the driveway, which I didn't care for because I'm like, I don't like that. I know in sales you're not supposed to be close.
That's the technique. You don't want to.
But I just didn't like how it made me feel. I'm like, in 2023, you cannot come to someone's house and knock. In my opinion, I'm not trying to answer it, but I couldn't believe back in the early 80s with my mom, this guy just came through the back. Yeah. It's like, hey, Val, you home? Like, people would not do that now.
No. There's just different boundaries, and we can. This is a really, like, it kind of fits the whole theme of today where we're going. But I know we don't have time to get into a longer combo. But there's this viral TikTok right now of this like sweet lady who I don't think on purpose. I don't think that was her goal, but has gone incredibly mega viral about how kids these days are entitled and they're like walking away from their parents. Right. And it has sparked just like, I have spent probably 2 hours in the past week watching people's stories, and just, it's such a great conversation. Maybe we can save that for next week. Yeah. Because I really want to dive into that, but it goes into the thing of like how, again, with so much access these days and people protecting their energy, there's a conversation happening between the millennial and older Gen Z children with the parents who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, just how we're expecting something different. Yeah. How we're like almost the first generation who doesn't feel like we owe our parents anything just because they raised us. Where the older generation, they're just like whatever for the parents, but it was just a different upbringing, and it's just a massively interesting conversation.
Well, next week we'll bring that.
I'll see if I can find the video, but I think she stopped it from being duetted because it just kept going so viral. Ooh. But now people are duetting the original guy who duetted it.
Oh god!
And it's just like, but I love hearing stories from people on the internet who are just like random people from all over the country and the world, all different ages, just sharing their stories. And you gain so much data. If you listen to 200 people for 1 minute talking about their relationship, you start to get data where you're like, this is how 200 people feel. And you get to like learn something. So it's just really fascinating. But I know we got to get going today. But we'll be back next Wednesday. Yes. We're wishing you all a great week. For all of you who are in dry January, hang in there. We got 1 week left, baby.
Yay!
But yeah, have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday. Take care, everyone.
Bye, y'all.